Hello, I'm Dango Rose. Welcome to the Mountaineer Podcast, where everybody's listening. The Mountaineer brings you the latest news of the Peak to Peak region, in print, online, through our podcast, social media, and special publications. Now, listen in to the latest news of the area with our local journalists.
My mind, you are in every dream.
The song that you are currently listening to is called All About You, and it's from Andy Epler's upcoming 15th solo album, You and Me Now, Apocalypse Campfire Songs. According to him, this is a new album of intimate acoustic performances presented in a raw and gritty style. The track list includes lots of new pieces as well as some of his favorite tunes from his time with the Prairie Scholars, and this will be an ideal album for late night listening. You can check out more of his music now wherever you get your music, including Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Music, and Amazon Music. And be sure to check out Andy Epler on Facebook, Instagram as Ando the Artist, Patreon as Ando the Artist, and on YouTube. You can also support him now by buying his book, A Songwriter's Grimoire, Practical Notes for a Mystical Practice, anywhere you get your books, and keep an eye out for this upcoming album and his psychedelic parable novella, Big Day in the Garden, by the time his birthday comes around on July 11th. For even more information about Andy, be sure to head to his website at andyepler.com.
I wake up in the night, I'm reaching out for your hand.
Happy July, everybody! My name is Jamie Lammers, and welcome to this week's Miscellaneous Monday edition of the Mountaineer Podcast, where we cover various topics from across the Peak to Peak area. This week we have a much shorter episode for you because most of the plans that I had for interviews this week ended up falling through. But we're still going to give you an episode this week, so we do have something to promote that's coming up very soon. Our guest this week, do you mind introducing yourself real quick?
Yeah, my name is Kris McFarland, and I'm the event coordinator for the Peak to Peak Music Education Association.
And I hear that the Peak to Peak Music Education Association is putting on a barn dance for the 4th of July in Gilpin.
Yeah, that is our latest thing. We are the folks who put on NedFest, and we had a NedFest family reunion last summer after 5 years. But in 2019, before the pandemic hit, we had a barn dance at the Gilpin County Fairgrounds, and we are going to do that again. It was really fun, and yeah, we're going to do it again on this year's 4th.
So to clarify, you've done this barn dance before.
Yeah, we did it once in 2019, and we were going to do it the next year, but then the pandemic hit, so we didn't, and things seemed to be pretty much back to normal, so we decided to try to do it again. And we have 7 hours of music, and it's mostly bluegrass and Americana folky stuff. We have a band called Rapidgrass out of Idaho Springs, and then we have a special ensemble of Dango Rose and Bridget Law of Elephant Revival, and then they are playing with Silas Herman. That's Herman's son, who's really great himself anymore. He plays mandolin. And then there's one out-of-town musician for the whole show is a fellow named Marty O'Reilly, who's accompanying, and he's a singer-songwriter person. And then we have local favorites, the Sweet Lillies and the NoGo Gilbillies. And then we have the Windy Pines guys, which is Doug Armitage from Brightwood Music and his pals. And then a wonderful, cool singer-songwriter out of the songwriter program out of the University of Denver, and her name is Finn O'Sullivan.
How did you prepare the barn dance in 2019 and this year in 2024?
Well, in 2019, we bought a lot of decorations and things that have just been sitting in boxes. So we already had a lot of 4th of July stuff, and we bought a floor for the barn because it's dirt. And so we bought a plastic floor. And so really it was just a matter of coordinating with the Gilpin County Parks and Recreation to reserve the barn and arranging for the music. And the Gilpin County Parks and Rec, Gabrielle Chisholm, has been a huge help with prepping for it. And yeah, so mostly just advertising and getting the music booked. Oh, and also, too, I got some food for us. We have Kaleidoscope Kitchen. The food truck that's in Netherland is coming out. And then we have JKQ Barbecue out of, I don't know if they're technically Central City or Blackhawk. They're from out of Crooks Talent. So we have some yummy food, too.
Has there been a favorite part for you about being able to prepare for this barn dance?
Oh, I like just the event more than anything. The prep isn't as fun as the event. The event is the reward. So my favorite part is actually the day of the event.
Is there anything that you hope people will take away from the barn dance when they come to see it?
Well, I want everybody to know that it's a fundraiser, and all of the profits are going to the Gilpin School Music Department. And so I'm hoping to get people to come out and know that they are supporting the local school here in Gilpin County.
And how did the barn dance in 2019 go?
Well, we put it together kind of last minute, and we still got almost 300 people, so that was pretty exciting. I thought that was, and we got lots of kids, and kids are free, and so you should make sure you point that out. And so we had a lot of kids, and it was a lot of fun, and I liked the venue really well. I liked the barn, because as opposed to NetFest, where we always got rained on, at the barn you don't have to worry about that, because there's a roof. So that's good. So, yeah, I just thought it was a great place to put on an event. There's lots of things that are really good about it.
What's been fun for you about being a part of the Peak to Peak Music Education Association and planning events like this?
Well, we just have a group of us that used to put on NetFest, and we've raised now, as of last summer when we did the family reunion, NetFest family reunion, which you played at, we've now raised $8,000 for local school music departments, including the Netherland Elementary School, the Netherland High School, the Teen Center. We funded a music program one year for the Teen Center, and then also the $1,000 from the last barn dance to the Gilpin County School. So we put on events trying to raise money for local school music departments, and so that's my role in the Peak to Peak Music Education Association.
Out of personal interest, she was the one who brought up the fact that I performed last year at NetFest Family Reunion, not me. Is there any way that NetFest will continue into the future, or was the NetFest Family Reunion a one-off?
Well, the family reunion was, well, maybe a one-off. It was really fun, and it ended up being very much that because many of us hadn't seen each other in 5 years since the last NetFest, including a lot of the musicians who had played at the last NetFest played at this one, and so it felt energetically a lot like a reunion, and so I think I want to do it again, but it's not going to be an every year thing. It would be another reunion like a couple of years from now. It's very difficult to put on that kind of event without corporate sponsorship, and we really never were able to get much in that department.
Is there anything else you'd like to add before we sign off for the week?
Well, I'm going to offer a special discount code for everybody who got to the end of this podcast. So if you got to the end of this podcast and want to buy tickets, when you purchase your ticket, put the letters MTEAR 10, so that's MT like mountaineer, so MTEAR 10 in the discount code box, and you can get $10 off on your ticket.
Thank you so much to Kris for coming on board and joining us for the podcast. If you want to head to the 4th of July Barn Dance 2024, be sure to head to the Gilpin County Fairgrounds Barn located at 250 Norton Drive in Blackhawk on Thursday, July 4th, 2024, starting at 1:30 p.m. when the doors open. At 1:45 p.m., the NoGo Gilbillies will perform, then at 3:15, Maggie and the Farm Cats will follow. 3:45, the Sweet Lillies will perform. 5:15, Windy Pines with special guest Dango Rose will perform. 5:45, Rapidgrass will perform. 7:15, Finn O'Sullivan will perform. And 7:45, Dango Rose and Bridget Law of Elephant Revival with Silas Herman and Marty O'Reilly will be performing. If you want to get a $6 discount compared to the day of show, be sure to head to peakmusic.org and get tickets online. Tickets are $52 in advance and $58 on the day of show. $26 for teens between 13 and 20 years old, no matter whether you get them on the day of the show or not, and kids 12 and under can get in for free. Be sure to head to the 4th of July Barn Dance for food trucks, local brews, kids activities, and local artists. Oh, and you heard Kris. Be sure to go online to peakmusic.org and get your tickets now if you want a $10 discount off of them by entering MTEAR10 at checkout. Special thanks to this year's sponsors of the 4th of July Barn Dance: Base Camp in Blackhawk, The Mountaineer, Very Nice Brewing Company, Netherland Feed and Pet, and Gilpin County Parks and Recreation. Before we completely sign off for the week, I wanted to bring up the other 4th of July celebrations that are happening across the Peak to Peak area, when else, on Thursday, July 4th. But before we do that, here's an ad break.
Does talking with your teen ever feel like a game show with unpredictable twists and turns? Well, it doesn't have to be. We're pulling back the curtain and revealing winning tips for parents to take their relationship with their teen to the next level. Because a stronger bond not only keeps them healthy, but also adds more joy to your relationship. Ready to level up your parenting game? It's time to connect more. Head to forwardtogetherco.com for expert tips, videos, and guides. Build stronger connections starting today, because parenting should be a winning experience.
Welcome back. Before we sign off for this week, let's talk about the various 4th of July celebrations that are happening all across the Peak to Peak area. I was hoping to get specific interviews with some of these people, but unfortunately none of the interviews really worked out. So we're just going to shout them out on the podcast instead. Special thanks to Amira Acevedo for her article, Peak to Peak Celebrates July 4th, which was published in the June 27th edition of the Mountain Ear. There are a couple celebrations happening in Allens Park this year. A flea and farmers market at the Tree Huggers Trading Company will kick off the festivities this July 4th. Live music begins at 10 a.m., followed by the Allens Park 4th of July parade starting at 11 a.m. The Old Gallery, meanwhile, will host its 4th of July picnic until 2 p.m., so hang around the business district for shopping and dining into the evening. Allens Park festivities begin at 7 Washington Street. In Blackhawk, the Z Casino will celebrate July 4th with an outdoor barbecue at 101 Gregory Street starting at 11 a.m. and ending at 5 p.m. The Coal Creek Canyon Improvement Association is hosting its annual 4th of July celebration presented by United Power. This year's theme is Canyon Roundup. A parade will showcase local individuals and businesses, and prizes for various categories will be given, including Best in Theme. The parade goes from Tunnel 19 Road all the way over to United Power, and the rest of the celebration, including 21 vendors, will be in front of the Coal Creek Canyon Improvement Association. Pancake breakfast starts at 7 a.m. Parade lineup starts at 10 a.m. At 11:15, the national anthem will be sung, followed by a local Cub Scout Troop 51 raising the flag, and at 11, the lunch opens, with a beer garden, live music and games, and a cornhole tournament. The entire thing ends at 2 p.m. Live music includes the Pig Stickers, the band named after a fly that is used to catch trout, and this event is run by all volunteers. As I mentioned, there will be live music, games for all ages, and a cornhole tournament. Vendors will offer products such as arts and crafts and food from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. So bring your enthusiasm and help Coal Creek Canyon residents celebrate the country's independence. If you want more information about the 4th of July celebration, please be sure to head to coalcreekcanyon.org. The Coal Creek Canyon Improvement Association is located at 31528 Highway 72. I said it once, and I'll say it again. Tighten your belt buckles and grab your best dancing cowboy/cowgirl boots to hit the dance floor during Gilpin County's 4th of July barn dance at the Gilpin County Fairgrounds Barn at 250 Norton Drive. Doors open at 1:30 p.m. and they close by 9:30 p.m. The Gold Hill Inn is going to be hosting a 4th of July Twang Fest and barbecue from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Musical guests include the Patty Fiasco, Greg Shockett and Little America, and the Powder Valley Playboys. Enjoy the music and fun with a menu featuring Kris's marinated barbecue chicken with all the fixings. Fees are $25 cash at the door for music and an additional $20 for food. Kids under 12 can get in for half price. The Gold Hill Inn requests for guests to carpool and park responsibly. No dogs, coolers, or outside alcohol or food will be allowed. But there will be a full bar and wine, including strawberry rhubarb margaritas, and again, Kris's marinated barbecue chicken with all the fixings will be included. So be sure to head to 401 Main Street in Gold Hill to check out the festivities for yourself. This event was actually not mentioned in the paper, so be sure to pay attention to this one. Head to Idaho Springs for a 4th of July town party on Thursday, July 4th, with music starting at 11 a.m. Join us for food, fun, and music on the 4th of July, with the national anthem starting at 11 a.m., followed by a performance by Nathan McEwen from 11 to noon, Mark Morris and Friends from 1 to 2:30, Billy and Jillian Nurshi of String Cheese Incident from 3:30 to 4:30, and Chala at 6:30. Food and drink specials will be occurring all across Minor Street at various restaurants, and fireworks occur at dark. Be sure to head to 1447 Minor Street in Idaho Springs to celebrate the festivities for yourself. Jamestown celebrates the 4th of July by 8 a.m. with a pancake breakfast that goes until 11:30 a.m. Music begins at 10:30 a.m. with PJ Moon and the Swappers. Jamestown's parade begins at noon, followed by additional festivities at Elysian Park, featuring a marching band, dogs, kids, fire trucks, and so much more. Residents and visitors can expect a variety of activities at Elysian Park, including food and hot dogs served by Jamestown's Volunteer Fire Department. Feel the patriotic spirit of our nation with a performance of the Star-Spangled Banner by Kate Farmer. Music continues by 12:45 and ends by 10 p.m. Here is the music listing. At 12:30, Kate Farmer kicks off the afternoon with the Star-Spangled Banner. At 12:45, Stellar J, local jazz, will be performing until 1:45. From 2 to 3, Riverman will be performing. From 3:15 to 4:15, Floondog will be performing. From 4:15 to 5:15, there will be a town photo and Jamestown's good old-fashioned wood-splitting contest. From 5:30 to 6:45, Foggy Mountain Spaceship will be performing live. From 7 to 8:15, Riverspell will be performing live. And from 8:30 to 10, Porphyry will be performing live. Once again, be sure to head to Elysian Park in Main Street in Jamestown to check out the festivities for yourself. And finally, Nederland is going to have its annual parade on Snyder Street starting at noon, with classic cars, a fire truck, animals, and, well, whoever else decides to show up. The Barker Brass Band will start playing outside Celto Coffee starting at 11:30 a.m. Brought to you by the Nederland Public Library, there will be sack races, watermelon eating competitions, and egg spoon races at Chipeta Park, starting at 1 p.m. Prizes will be given out by the library and by the Visitors Center. A community potluck at Chipeta Park will begin around 2 p.m. Nederland Public Works will be manning a grill and supplying hot dogs and hamburgers. Attendees are welcome to bring a side dish to share. Lawn games like cornhole and ladder golf will be available for enjoyment. So be sure to head to Nederland for various festivities between noon and 2 p.m. Thank you so much for listening to this week's edition of the Miscellaneous Monday Mountaineer Podcast. Despite the fact that it's shorter than usual, I hope that you still enjoyed the 4th of July celebration nonetheless. Happy 4th of July to everybody! And once again, reminder, if you want to be involved in the podcast in any way, whether it's through advertising or through an interview, be sure to reach out to me at media@themountaineer.com and we'll get something set up. The song that you are currently listening to is called Holding It Together, and it's by Andy Epler from his upcoming 15th solo album, You and Me Now, Apocalypse Campfire Songs. According to him, this is a new album of intimate acoustic performances presented in a raw and gritty style. The track list includes lots of new pieces as well as some of his favorite tunes from his time with the Prairie Scholars, and this will be an ideal album for late night listening. You can check out more of his music, though, before this album comes out, wherever you get your music, including Amazon Music, Apple Music, Spotify, and SoundCloud. And be sure to check out Andy on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram as Ando the Artist, and Patreon as Ando the Artist. You can also support him and his endeavors by purchasing his book, A Songwriter's Grimoire, Practical Notes for a Mystical Practice, and be sure to keep an eye out for this upcoming project, as well as his psychedelic parable novella, Big Day in the Garden, by the time his birthday rolls around on July 11th. By the way, be sure to check out the podcast episode we did with him a while ago. For even more information about Andy, be sure to head to his website at andyepler.com.
But only growing debt, and that good old trickle down ain't trickling down yet. White knuckle, holding on, 'cause I know I'm my best bet. The sky is full of nothing, so the crops can drink my sweat. Holding it together.
And that's it for our show. Subscribe online to get more access to more news, weekly updates to our community calendar, and a link to our YouTube channel by visiting themountaineer.com. Be sure to use the coupon code PODCAST when subscribing for a 10% discount, only available to our listeners. If you are in the local Peak-to-Peak area, be sure to pick up a print edition of The Mountaineer at a local business. I'm Dango Rose. Thank you for listening.